everyone. I am so excited for another episode today. We have a special guest. Like always, I will have single episodes with me by myself, but I just love talking with other moms, entrepreneurs, and like-minded women to bring you like their experiences, their stories, and to really, at the end of the day, when you're listening to this, inspire you to take action in your own life. So today I have Ari Medrano.
Yep,
Did I say it right?
you absolutely did. Gracias.
Yay. So I am Puerto Rican. I'm not sure your background.
Mexicana.
Mexicana. Okay.
Mhm.
I do speak Spanish, but I wasn't brought up speaking Spanish. So mine is broken. So forgive me if I mispronounce things sometimes. That's why I'm shy to speak it, but I can speak it.
Yours is not broken. It's just more colorful than the rest of ours.
Anyways, let's tell the audience all about you. Here's your bio. So Adi is a founder of Miracle Mindset, and she's an inspirational speaker and orator from Dallas, Texas. Despite facing paralysis post-craniotomy, Adi has shown incredible resilience, going from paralysis to dancing in just 21 days. And as a proud mother of two adult sons, she uses her journey and vibrant Latina heritage to inspire others. Adi's story of transformation motivates and empowers individuals to discover their inner power through faith, focus, fashion, and commitment. Let's preach. Adi's life exemplifies the belief that anything is possible, and her story is amazing. So we're going to really see what things are possible, no matter your circumstances, which is the name of my podcast, Beyond Your Circumstance. So welcome, Adi. I when I read your bio, and of course I've been following you for a while, we connected through social media. And when I saw your story, and especially when I read this bio on Anne Fontaine, I was like, man, this is so relevant to what my podcast is trying to portray. Like going beyond the struggles, the challenges, the heartbreaks, the confusion, the worries, and the doubts and the fears. And so I would love to hear more about your story, because I know that you had craniotomy and
Mhm,
ended up
mhm,
with paralysis. So
mhm, mhm.
how did we get there? I
Oh
know
my
you
goodness.
overcame it. I know you overcame it, and I can't wait to hear that part of the story too.
Right,
But
right.
let's hear where it started and more about you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And what a beautiful intro. I really appreciate you. And yeah, any opportunity that I have to actually share the story. And it's not about me, right? I mean, it is about me. And I went through what I went through and I grew through what I went through. But it truly is about inspiring others for them to grow through whatever it is that they're going through, right? And so what's more important is not where I ended, quite frankly, but truly where I started in the journey through that.
Right.
So I'm more than happy to be here for sure and share all of that with you. Because I don't know about you, but for me, I was at the bottom of the bottom, meaning I had paralysis, right? Big craniotomy is a big word, for basically they cut into my brain, into my skull, and they took out a tumor that I had in there, right? It was a secondary finding that they had, like, so I had no idea. It was actually over a fall that I had, and that fall, by the way, again, for us to, kind of dissect and look at something is that sometimes we end up going through things that we get upset about. I was upset about this fall, y'all. I was upset about this fall because it came in a way that I shouldn't have fallen.
Mhm.
I should not have fallen, right? But I did. And sometimes what happens is that God creates something that may agitate us in some way, but he has a story, that's way like 10 steps ahead of whatever it is that's actually happening, right?
Yeah.
And that is exactly what happened. So even though I was upset, I was angry, I shouldn't even have been, fixing this closet. I shouldn't have been on this ladder. Right? All the could have, should have, all the things.
Yeah.
However, it was necessary for that to happen to save my life because
Mm.
I had no idea that I had a tumor growing in my brain. And the only
Wow.
reason they found it is because I fell, had a severe concussion. And so they did additional studies. Saved my life.
My goodness.
So, how many things I would love for us to think about and the audience to think about how many things at times do we complain about that we
Mm.
are angry about, right? That happen. when we don't even understand the 10 steps ahead that God is in front of
Mhm.
us, that he's creating something else that's going to happen out of what seemingly looks like a worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
Or a bad scenario or whatever that is. And he's like, little daughter, son, shh, and watch me. Watch and see what I do. And for me, that watching came saving my life. So, secondary finding, I have a brain tumor. They said I had about 10 to 15 years to do something about it because it was really small. And it wasn't about the tumor itself. Thank goodness it was malignant, which means that there was no cancer attached to that. However, it was the placement. It was in the middle of my cortex. And so any growth, I would die, basically. Fast forward, I did the surgery within a year. Right before I went in, they said, we are so sorry. We don't know how this happened, but you actually need a full craniotomy, not a mini 3-inch cut. Your tumor grew. I thought you said I had 10 to 15 years.
Ah.
Okay. What does all that mean?
Mhm.
And I'll tell you right now, I was going through the worst things of my life at the moment, and all I can think about was my hair. That's all I can think about. I'm
Wow.
sorry. What is a full craniotomy? You you you're gonna cut the rest of my hair off. Yeah, you
Mhm.
see, I have lost a lot of things in life. At that time, I was going through the worst possible divorce of my life. And all I can think about was now you're going to steal my identity, what
Yeah.
I look like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So initially they didn't understand, but I had a total breakdown. They had to drag me up and I was out. So I thought I woke up with no hair. Um, Woke up excruciating pain and I woke up paralyzed, y'all. Paralyzed. And to add insult to all the injury, I woke up paralyzed. The whole left side of my body would not move. And that's how I started this beautiful, beautiful journey of miracle mindset, quite frankly, because I will tell you that even though I woke up paralyzed, in my brain and in my spirit and in my head, the Lord said, you are not, my dear daughter. You are not paralyzed. And we're going to walk this
Mm.
out.
Mm.
And so when you hear folks talking about visualization and all of these things, I'm here to tell you that visualization is absolutely true
Mm.
because it first started with the feeling in my heart, which was the Lord saying, you're not paralyzed and you will walk again. Don't listen to the outside world. Listen to me, be with me, walk with me. So I
Wow.
know I'm speaking to somebody right now.
Ah,
Don't listen to those outside voices.
absolutely.
They don't know you the way I know you, and
Mm.
they don't know what I've called you to do. So their story is their story,
Amen.
but your story is our story.
Wow.
And we're going to do this together.
Oh
And
man.
that's how we started.
Whew, I'm getting chills. Oh
And we
my.
took a walk, y'all. We took a walk. And what did I do? I literally went into my mind, closed my eyes at my door at the same time that the Lord was downloading this into me. I had, which I feel was an enemy knocking. And really, what it was my beautiful nurse going, your medical team is here. By the way, they were there to tell me my prognosis and
Mm.
that I was paralyzed. And I was going to be sent to a rehab center to learn to deal with my paralyzation in a wheelchair. This was so beautifully orchestrated that at the moment the Lord downloaded that to me, all I can think in my head was the moment that I'm having with God right now, which is so incredibly important, you all, to foster that relationship with God before you need that bam, right now it's you and me, Lord,
Mm.
beforehand. Because if I had not done all the intentional relational work with Christ, I would not have been able to hear the voice of Christ and kneel and bend to his voice and listen to his voice and not the world that was literally knocking at my door to change the projection of my life for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I told that nurse I couldn't I said I'm busy because I was actually on the phone with a friend of mine who was speaking life into my life.
Hmm.
That even though I was like, okay, I'm paralyzed, there no, you're not. Actually, you're not. And the Lord confirmed that at that moment. And they said, let's go take a walk together. And then the knock was there. And I was like, right. And I had been waiting for days to speak to my surgical team to find out what the heck, right after my surgery.
Yeah.
I kicked them out. Not once, not twice, 3 times. And
Wow.
the third time the nurse came in, she said, Ari, they're not coming back. You've been waiting for them to come. They are here to tell you about your life. They are here to share with you where you're. And I just stopped her. I said, get out. Get out. Like, and it was probably a little meaner than I'm saying it right now, by the way. And and she was like, and she did, and she left. And my friend on the other end was like, that was really cool. But by the way, you're gonna have to apologize later. But right now, let's go for a walk. And y'all, we went for a walk in my head. And the
Mm,
next thing I knew, I was picking out these beautiful tennis shoes. Of course, they were blinged out because I'm all about fashion, and they were sparkly and beautiful. And I put them on my feet and I started walking down. The street for me, listen, I'm a fancy girl. So it was the streets of, I'm not going to sugarcoat it because it was Beverly Hills. It was Rodeo Drive. For
mm,
me, that's where my imagination took me. So I'm walking in my blinged out shoes down Beverly Hills. And the next thing I knew, now I'm way leaving past Beverly Hills and I'm in the mountains. Now I'm jogging because I'm a big hiker. So I'm hiking and now I'm jogging. And I just took off. Mind you, y'all, I'm still in my bed.
mhm,
I'm still paralyzed.
mm,
But the Lord showed me my future present and how I'm not bound from my past present or my current present.
mm,
That was the best present of my life. And that is what I began to speak to myself and to my cells. So that's what I call cell talk. So
mm,
it's self talk to cell talk. So I then began to command my body to respond into my future present and not my past present or my current present. I know that's a lot to take in.
mm,
So I'm going to take a sip of my coffee while I let you all digest that.
mm. So good though. So good.
And that's really what took me from wheelchair to dance for in 21 days. That is what took me from wheelchair to dance for in 21 days. What took me there was first the feeling, and the feeling turned into a thought, and that thought then turned into an action. So, which is what I'm so big on, that miracle mindset, is knowing that without a shadow of a doubt, right, that you are absolutely planted in what the future holds, but you're not waiting till you get there. You're not waiting to do the things that you need to do until when, and then when, if, and by what. All those things that you tell yourself are so not serving you. But
Mm,
if you tell yourself and your cells what is true and real, it will accept that as the truth and the real. So it responds that way. For example, you may be going through something in your life right now where you're going, things are really grim. Financially, things are not the way I want them to be. And so you speak brokenness, like true broke, money broke in your life because you're looking at your, statement and you're going, yeah, I don't, I know what I want for my future and for my family, but what I'm looking at right now does not speak into that.
wow.
I'm going to ask you to speak faith into that. I'm going to ask you to speak your focus into that. I'm going to ask you to speak your action into that. I'm going to ask you to be absolutely committed without a shadow of a doubt that what the Lord has planted in you is absolutely for you, but you call that future out today. So
Mm,
it's no broke talk. It's no, I can't afford this. I won't afford this. I can never. Because if you tell yourself and your cells that, they will
yeah,
respond.
right.
So when someone speaks that, I say, well, I believe you. And by the way, you will be. Why? Because the facts of your actions, the facts of your words, the facts of your mindset. So
Right.
you have to speak life into you, and you have to speak life into your finances. Whatever it is that God has spoken into your heart that is for you. And I'll tell you right now, we do not serve a God of lack. We serve a God of abundance, abundance in relationship, abundance in your pocketbook, abundance in love, abundance in fun, abundance in joy. Like, we serve a God of abundance. Why aren't we behaving that way?
Mm, mm,
Call that forth. Bring that forth and watch yourself and your cells and everything in the world adjust to the new you. That energy that you bring out, when we sit and right now I'm speaking, just in finances, but it can be any point in your life. This can be relationship, this can be joy, this can be whatever it is. Wherever your thoughts go, that action and that energy 100% flows. So
Mm.
whatever you put in, you're going to get out. Garbage in, garbage out, you guys. What are you speaking into you? So for me, I was speaking walking. I was speaking movement.
Yeah.
I I would lay in my bed and I would look at my toes and go, "Come on, little toe. You got this. You can move. You got, come on, come on." And I have videos that you could hear me go, like the brain power, right? And the next thing you know, y'all, my little toe. And I'm like, ah! And I'm calling in the nurses, and then I'm bringing in people to celebrate me, celebrate the joy of why? Because me speaking to myself and my cells start to go, wait, we're walking? We're walking. Well, if we're walking, why isn't this toe moving? Why aren't these legs moving? Hello, legs. Hello, toes. Hello, muscles. Hello, cells. Get to it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Follow through, right? But if I'm sitting here and I'm speaking death, life, brokenness, pain, lack of, then my body is going to respond, and so is the energy, and so is the world.
Yeah.
But I'm going to hold God accountable to his word.
Amen.
But that means that I need to be accountable for my faith, for my focus, for
Yeah.
my action, for my commitment, no matter what, come what may. And even though I was going through the worst moments of my life, the best moments were happening and weaving in those moments to
Mm.
create who you see today. And by the way, this is all my hair. They did not touch it. I
Oh.
was the very first one. They actually told the story to my surgeon about me, just basically that I freaked out, fell out, and was going through the worst divorce of my life, and everything was being taken away from me at that time. I spoke to him a couple months later, and he said, for whatever reason, I was so touched by your story. I just decided not to shave your head. And he did the tiniest little strip, which I still have somewhere here, tiny little strip over my head. And nobody could tell that I was a craniotomy patient. They had to put a huge sign in front of my door because they kept hurting me. The nurses kept coming in and moving me around, thinking that I was just there because they had an extra bed in that unit. I'm like, yeah, but that another beautiful gem from our daddy that just kissed me with, and I'm gonna give you this too, sweetheart. And from that point forward, and y'all, my craniotomy was 3.5 years ago. We're not talking like a decade ago.
Mm.
And I did not have even executive level thinking and or speaking. Again, they said I wouldn't have any of that. And here I am speaking to y'all, having a beautiful platform to be able to speak of the God of miracles, not yesterday, not today, but also tomorrow. He is the God of all miracles. He is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And I'm here to tell his story, not just for me, but to change your his story, because the
Mm.
devil has you bound, and he is a thief and he is a liar. Come what may, God's got you.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I am so glad you used the word bound, because that was kind of something that was circling in my head. Because I think about not so many people, but even myself, like I feel that when we are in that negative zone and we're struggling through things and so many things are being just thrown at us, we can kind of just stay there, right? And it's almost like we're in bondage to that way of thinking. We're in bondage to the fear and the doubts and the uncertainty. Oh, uncertainty so much. And it's almost like, well, how can I get past this? How can I get free? Like break the chains, please, because I no longer want to be in bondage, but I just don't know how to. Or sometimes we just even get comfortable in that bondage, right? Like I
Yes.
think about the Israelites when they left Egypt. God set them free. God did miracles right before their eyes, but yet they kept complaining, like, let's just go back to Egypt because it was easier, you know? And it's
Yeah.
like, why do we not do what's best for us, even through the grinding, even through the hardships, even through, so many challenges that happen instead of going back to Egypt, right? That way of
Right.
thinking. And that really spoke to me because I was reading that with my kids. My kids are 6 years old, and it's like God was just like, see what I mean? See what I mean with your mindset? Because I talk a lot about mindset. And it's like, see what I mean about your mindset? Why are we going back to thinking this way again? That's just going to keep you where you're at instead of letting you soar,
Right.
letting you flow with the
Right.
God right by your side. And it's just amazing. Like everything you've been saying is like, man, I've seen that in my own life. I've seen that. But yet when something new comes along, it's like, oh, wait, the enemy is starting to bring those same things back into my mind instead of me remembering what God has already done in my life, delivered me from, and brought me forward through. And it's like, we need to just be consistent with like holding on to his promises. Like you mentioned, like be consistent with having that conversation with him, with
Yes.
growing,
Yes.
growing. That's the biggest
Yes.
thing. It's not meant for us to be perfect, but we're
Mhm.
just meant to say, I'm a work in progress and I'm still growing,
Yes.
and I'm okay with that because I have God right by my side every step of the way. So I love your story. It's so inspirational, but also empowering because I don't
Mhm.
think a lot of people, even people who are of faith, people who are call
Mhm.
themselves Christians,
Mhm.
I don't think they make that connection of
Mhm.
like, yes, I pray to God, I pray for what I
Mhm.
want. But when you're praying, are you just wishing and hoping? Or are you walking in faith? Are you believing not that this situation is going to happen, but that your God is powerful enough to make it happen? There's a difference in the way you pray and the way you speak over your situation. And that,
Hallelujah.
my audience today, I want to let you know and empower you and just give
Yes.
you hope and a
Yes.
future
Yes.
because that's what God wants for us is that we need to start changing our vocabulary to fit
Yes.
who God is in our lives and what he can do.
Woo! Hallelujah and amen. Yes. Because listen, regardless, when people say, oh, well, I mean, it's easy for her to say that because it happened in 21 days. What if it happened in 21 years? Well, what if
Mhm,
it did?
mhm, mhm,
Like, regardless, I knew that I was going to walk again, whether it was on this side of the river or the next. I'm already giving the glory to God.
mhm.
Period. The timeline isn't for me to know. But it's not the first time, y'all. I have multiple stories, multiple tumors that I was told this is the end. This is the end. I also was a heart disease patient. I had 21% heart function. I was 28 years old. I was pregnant with my second son, 6 months in the womb. We were supposed to die within 30 days. I had no idea I had heart disease. I had no idea I was dying. I had no idea that my heart was only working 21% of the time. I'm about to turn 52. I have zero heart disease. I'm in the best health of my life.
Beautiful.
Once again, that took 5 years to resolve. Something that would have never resolved. 3 ablations later, flatlined several times, multiple medications. They told me no, I had the best of the best fly to Cedar Sinai to treat me, where he said, untreatable. If do not let anyone touch you again because they will kill you. Where your issues are at your diaphragm. So this is something you're going to have to learn to live with for the rest of your life. Well, I was a mama at the time. I
Mhm.
can't be on all this medication. I can't be falling out and passing out everywhere. I also had severe tachycardia. Me sitting down was like 120. Me standing up, I was at 150.
Wow.
But it's insane, right? So the death rate for me would have been like, but here I sit before you, perfect heart rate. No, my ejection fraction is that of like a trainer who's, an athlete.
Yeah.
No medication whatsoever. Best health of my life. God has done this over. But by the way, back then I learned to speak to my body.
Mm,
Back then I had other people that reached out and were like, no, you're going to talk to those valves. You're going to talk to that heart. You're going to talk to that blood pumping through you. So another thing I'd like you guys to take a look at is the people that you have in your life. And
mhm,
Are they speaking life into your life, or are they speaking death into your life? It would have been so different if I would have had people calling me and going, "Oh, girl, don't worry about it. Let's go have a drink. You'll be fine. Oh, what? You're going to be paralyzed? Don't worry. We're going to pink out your wheelchair. That's your favorite color. And, it'll be so cute and we'll bling it out for you." Versus, wait, what? No, that's not happening. And,
Mhm.
and you will walk. Let's go. What needs to get done? What do we, you got this. Yeah, that you're hurting. Yeah, the pain of having a craniotomy is literally, and I remember I shared this with folks and they're like, leave it to you to Christianize everything. And they said, what does that feel like? I said, the only thing that I can possibly compare it to, I would think, because of what I read in the Bible, is the crown of thorns. Like, just think about 45 plus staples. I think it was 46. I need to count them again because I do have them. 46, 47 staples that are pressing in your head the entire
Wow.
time. And I couldn't continue to pump the morphine button because I knew that I had to get up, which is what you were speaking about just a few moments earlier. I couldn't just lay there. I mean, I could. I
Mhm.
could lay there and just be like, God, save me. God, heal me. God, you said. God, and God's going, and what you doing? Like,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Well, how about you do your part? How about faith without works is dead? How
Mhm.
about that work part? I'm gonna need you to get to it. Like,
Right.
every time he did something in the Bible, I mean, think about it. Look, the blind man, right? He had to go and get the mud and put it on his eyes, right? When the paralytic man, he said, pick up your mat. Like, there is work to be done here. This is a partnership.
Mhm.
He's
Mhm.
not just a magician. Some of us walk around thinking that we serve a magician. Like, no, we
Yeah.
don't. We serve a great God. We think that he's a genie. Let's just rub the lamp and then it's gonna and then when it doesn't
Yeah,
happen, I'm
yeah.
all crying. Oh, he doesn't love me. He doesn't care. No. There is something in here for you to learn. There's something in here for you to experience. So there's somebody in here that's going through something that you're going, how much more can I take?
Yeah.
I can't anymore. Listen,
Yeah.
I have absolutely been there. I have been literally on the floor, turning over and going, will the noose from that closet hold me? Because I can't. I have nothing left in. That's when you hold on.
Yeah.
I can't even say for a day, a half a day. I can't even tell you for an hour. Where I was at, I barely had one more second. So for you, sweet brother or sister, I say to you, hold on to that second and then hold on to the next second.
Yeah.
And then hold on to the next. And then those seconds are going to accumulate to minutes. And those minutes, they're going to accumulate to hours, just enough time for a lifeline to come in.
Mhm.
For me, it was a pastor papa that I had. And within minutes, called me and said, how are you, baby? And this is family friend pastor. And I just broke.
Mm.
Again, who do you surround yourself with?
Yeah.
Who is speaking into your life? Are you having the party people? Are you having, your friends who are doing drugs, alcohol, or it might not even be that extreme,
Mhm.
but they have a spirit of being bound.
Yep.
They have a spirit of less than.
Oh, yes.
And that is even worse, my friend.
Mhm. Mhm.
Surround yourself, make intentional choices to bring life into your life. Because at some moment in life, because we're not in heaven,
Yeah.
you're going to need that lifeline to come in seconds, minutes, or hours, but you're going to need the right one in order to have you not just get through, but grow through whatever God is taking you to,
Mhm.
because it is specially for you, whatever the thing is. And I'm talking like not just paralysis,
Mhm.
I mean, I've had children who've been victimized. I've got a mega story, even more greater than from wheelchair to the dance floor in 21 days.
Yeah.
But all of those moments I can look back on today when people say, Ari, how are you filled with so much joy? Every time I see you, you've got a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Because I've had so many moments of grief, pain, disgusting human trials
Yeah.
that punched me in the face and in the gut. So I know the difference now. And I'm able to look at these moments in my life right here with you, speaking to others through you. What a beautiful gift. What a beautiful gift to have light, to have energy, to have fingers, to have skin, to still be here for another moment of joy. This moment of joy will pass. I'm smart enough to know that because I've lived through a lot.
Mm.
But just as these joy moments pass, those pain moments pass.
Right.
We just need to learn how to grow through and stabilize ourselves in those most painful moments and understand that at some point, somewhere, at some time, you will see the gift of the pain. And then you're going to get to the joy part. And you're going to even take that gift as a greater gift. But when we learn to understand that in this world, we are in a world of joy and pain, and we learn that both of these are precious gifts, one or the other, because without one, I wouldn't be able to glorify the other. Without the pain one, I wouldn't be able to understand it and know the beautiful gift of the joy, right? The beautiful joy, I wouldn't be able to understand without the low of the grief. But to understand that both of them reside with me, and neither of them are going to overpower each other. Because if I have a ton of joy, you guys, if I just walked in joy completely, when grief hit me in some kind of way, it would knock me out because all I did was focus on yay, 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 joy, joy, joy. But
Mm.
because of the reality that I understand and know
Yeah.
that there is grief and there's joy, then I can learn to balance and know and understand that in this life, the beauty is in the knowing that I can exist with both of them and not just exist, but have an amazing life
Mm.
with Christ and the beauty of the world around me, which today includes you, my darlings, in this podcast.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. So good stuff. And I feel like we could just go on and on and on and on and talk so much more about this. But unfortunately, we only have 30 minutes today for today's podcast. So before we leave, I wanted to share a scripture from Isaiah 40:31. It says, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." Just absorb that right now, to know that it's just a refreshing of the Lord, his love, his mercy, his grace. How many times do, God is continually extending his grace on us, and we don't have that same grace on ourselves. But to know that if we can just put our faith and hope in him, he's going to take care of the rest. Like, soar on wings of eagles, walk and run and not grow weary. Like, that's what I want. That's what I want for my life. I hope that's what you want for your life. I hope that's what the audience wants for their life, to be able to move forward, to go after their dreams, to be a vessel for other people, to impact other people in this world. I know that is my biggest thing. Every year I come up with a word that I just marinate in, like that. This is my mission for the year. And this year is impact. Like, I just want to impact as many people as I possibly can, for them to make a change in their life that they know they need, and to get closer to God. And my niche in my business is weight loss. But let me tell you, Adi, weight loss is not the be all end all. It's who you become through that journey. And that is what I am so passionate about, seeing people's lives being transformed from the inside out, not just the physical, but the spiritual, the mental, and just seeing who they can become living in their purpose. So I am so happy to have you on the podcast, and I'm so glad that you said yes when I asked you. And I know that so many people that are listening today are going to be truly inspired by your message. And like I said, when I'm editing this, I'm probably going to be like, oh, being hit again with all the goodness and all the truth. And it's just awesome. So thank you so much for being on the podcast. And before we head out and let you go, how can people get connected with you, know more about you, and maybe what you have to offer?
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you and to your beautiful listeners. You can reach me at Ari Medrano, at Ari Medrano official, Ari Medrano, excuse me. Ari Medrano is a .com. So arimedrano.com. There is my page there. You can book me there for speaking engagements. And you can also find me on Instagram, Ari Medrano official, and or on LinkedIn. Once again, Google my name, you'll find me there. I'm on most of platforms out there. Once again, I'm going to invite you all to walk in purpose, on purpose, for purpose, come what may. I love you. Besos.
Thank you. All right. See everyone next week on our podcast. Bye.